Yo, 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 it's another beautiful Sunday morning. Your boys are back. I'm your boy Prime. Source, what's good?
What's going on, Prime? It's another Sunday morning with the early NFL, and I'm trying to get the sheet posted to the group so they can get off my back. I understand, though. I understand. Like money on the line. Y'all know most of the people pick Baltimore. It's all
Uh,
right.
people,
Relax. Relax.
people don't play when it's money on the line, player.
Yeah.
When it's especially when it's theirs, they
Uh,
definitely not playing.
understood. Understood. I respect it.
No doubt. Carlos, what's going on, bro? Zach, my brother, what's up, fam? Good morning to you, fellas. Hope you guys are doing great. Everybody else is checking in wherever you may be checking in. I'm here. I'm tired, bro. I am tired.
Oh, yeah?
You know, when the last time? When the last time you just feel like I just went and hung out and you didn't get in the house at like 2:30 in the morning?
A couple weeks ago when I did that, I went to that beat battle with Knots and Crisis.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
okay,
down. I was down, and then I went somewhere the next afternoon to a birthday gathering.
right.
Yeah, I was down after that jump. Over.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now, yo. I'm beat down. You realize that you're not in your 20s no more, or even your early 30s, like on
None
the
of that.
beat down. Yeah,
None of that.
so yeah, we had the birthday gig, man, from my oldest son last night. And
Man.
yeah, but I ain't getting the crib, man. It's about I don't know, almost 2 o'clock, something like that. And the body is definitely feeling it, man. But a great time was had by all, man. That joint was lit.
For real?
Yeah, it
That's
was
what's
lit,
up.
man. It was lit, man. They had lemon pepper wings and honey wings, bro. They had
Strip club wings.
huh? Now they weren't good as a strip club wing. That's
Oh,
different. That's
oh,
different. They didn't touch
my
no
bad.
strip club wings, you know.
My bad.
But they were good. They were good enough. Strip club wings on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Like they stay winning. You know what I'm saying? Like they up here like Brady Super Bowls. You feel me? They top of the line. So that's a little different, right? But Caesar, what's good? I want to give a shout out, a very special shout out to my not only my son, my oldest son, whose birthday was a couple of days ago, and I know I would say I hope he had a great one. I know he had a great one.
Right.
But also SBP member, sure to be a first ballot SBP Hall of Famer. My guy, AJ Arvin Jackson, who DJ'd the affair for us. AJ put it down last night. Yeah, and
Word.
it was a good time. We had a nice old mixture of some hip hop, R&B, the older stuff, some of the not as old stuff that my son them wanted to hear. Man, that joint was jumping, man. That joint was
Mm-hmm.
jumping.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
man. So shout out to my guy, man. He never lets me down, man.
For
So
sure.
yeah, it was cool.
AJ.
Yeah, it was cool because even though I've been knowing Ivan for shoot, man, what 40 some odd years, maybe, or whatever, the whole night. That was the first time he'd ever actually met my oldest son. So no, it was great, man. It was great.
Yo, that's
And
what's up.
yeah, he may jump in. It was funny because he asked me last night when I dapped him up after we got his equipment loaded. He was leaving. He said, "What time y'all going on tomorrow?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Probably about 10:30, 10:45. I gotta get myself together." He said, "I feel you." His eye looked just as red as mine. He put in that work, man. But yeah, shout out to the brother, man. Everything was great.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, man. So let's get into this NFL thing. Let's talk a little football here. And as we always do, my man, we're going to start out. Caesar, we're not talking about no boats and no diamondbacks. We might talk about
Oh,
the boats, but
hold up, Prime. I just
okay.
wanted to point out that because somebody said, you know, people wondering what's in my cereal because of one of my picks, I wanted to show y'all that it was Frosted Flakes this morning, just so we're all on
Okay.
the same page.
Okay. Yeah. Frosted
And you know
Flakes
what?
is what's that?
They are great.
Another a first ballot Hall of Fame bowl. That's what that is, man. But I'm trying to tell y'all, man, like, I'm gonna tell you what's really making this case for a while on whether or not it's gonna be a first ballot or not, but I'm pretty sure before it's all said and done, depending on what the class looks like when it becomes eligible, I'm trying to tell you, it might not be on Frosted Flake level, but that Raisin Bran Crunch something different. Like it's something different because Raisin Bran Crunch is so good that you can eat it with or without sugar. Sometimes you put too much, put sugar on it, might be a little bit too sweet. Anytime I can get a cereal and get that flavor, and my boy Guy Fieri saying that crunch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't have to put sugar on if I don't want to. Yeah, that Raisin Bran Crunch is something different.
I don't think I've ever eaten Raisin Bran once in my life.
Yeah, I'm not a big Raisin Bran guy, but that crunch with a little granola, that's a little different, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
that either.
No doubt. Look, Thursday night. See, I'm still trying to get myself together. We had a football game. And it was a recap. This is our recap of the Chiefs and the Broncos. Well, we saw the Chiefs win the game 19-8. And it was a game that looked like it could have been and probably should have been a little more lopsided than that. But it just was not. It just was not. And we come into this game amidst all the Travis Kelce and the Swift stuff we see every week. We come into this game thinking about Sean Payton and the rift that he seems to have with Russ and the issues he's having with his squad. He might have stuck his foot in his mouth for real because they look horrible. But what did you think about the Chiefs' 19-8 victory, and what do you think about these situations between both of these teams?
All I want to know is who left Travis Kelce open all first half. That's all I want to know. There's no receiver that scares people by name or at first sight on the Chiefs roster. So y'all just gonna cover the people that's easy to cover and leave the dude that's hard to cover by himself? Like, is that what we're doing? I don't understand. He had what, 8 catches in the first half?
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no sense. Explain to me. Help me understand. I don't know what's worse, that or Russell Wilson. That, Russell Wilson, or Jerry Jeudy before the game with Steve Smith. I don't know what's worse. Pick one. It don't even matter. They were all terrible moments.
It's funny you said that. I saw during the game on the platform formerly known as Twitter, someone had put, I really don't think Travis Kelce is really all that good. He just be open all the time. I said, I'm really reading this show. I had to go back and look at it again. He said, he ain't really all that good. He just open all the time.
I need that quote. I need that. I need to find it. I'm going to look for that myself because that's funny.
Hey, there he is, my guy. AJ, good morning. Good morning, my brother, man. I was just telling him I don't think you were on. I appreciate you so much. I don't know how I'm up right now. I told you last night I was going to pull through, but, man, I appreciate you doing that for us last night, man. It was all love, man. Outstanding job, man. And I was never in doubt. I know you was going to handle that business, man, and you did, man. So I appreciate you so much. You already know. First ballot Hall of Famer, y'all. AJ, Mr. Arvin Jackson.
AJ.
Yeah, man, that whole thing was crazy. Now, Mahomes ended up with 306 and a TD. But to this point in the season, it's not like they've really started. They haven't really clicked yet. Like, we haven't really seen those games every week or weeks. We just know that they go out there and lay in 35, maybe 40 on somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. And I know last year there was a point that they started a little slow and eventually got things together. And that still could very well happen. It could definitely happen. But in the games before Thursday night, and definitely in this game, it just looks like something is missing or something. The light switch hasn't. Can you turn a switch on halfway? Like a little bit instead of like flipping it all the way in? Is it possible?
It gets stuck sometimes, in that halfway point.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And that's so.
So, of course, last year I said that they were going to struggle. I don't think I said struggle, but I thought they were going to feel the effect of no Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Mahomes instead threw the ball to everybody on the roster. And he just, sprinkled the ball, peppered the ball all over the place. Like everybody got touched. You get a touch. He was Oprah Winfrey of Kansas City to that receiver core and tight ends and running backs. Is the receiver core a little worse this year than last year? Maybe. So will that effect that I thought was going to be last year? Is that what we're seeing this year? I don't know. I don't know. And can they turn it around? Do they have enough to turn it around? That's the real question.
And it's funny saying that a team like them still with one of the best records in the National Football League, can they turn it around?
Yeah.
I will say this though. I am impressed. If they're gonna get together, it seems like it's a possibility. It could be on the back of somebody we're not used to calling. The young kid they got, Rashee Rice. He ended up with 4 for 72. Now I do like Rice. We're starting to hear Rice's name here over the past couple of weeks, and that may develop into his new go-to. If I was to say there was really one positive though, I do like the aggressiveness and the way they're leaning more on Pacheco. Because
Right.
Andy Reid at any given time, he'll mess around and Pacheco will have a big game, and then next week you think you're doing something and he's gonna start McKinnon. Or the week after that, like McKinnon the week before ended up with 18 carries, right? Something like that. Then the next week you think he's the man, and he decide to give the forgiving Edwards-Helaire some, more touches than normal. But I
Mhm.
like the way that they're deploying Pacheco. I know it's going to definitely pay dividends down there. But it might come on, like I say, it might come on that young, on that young core, that super young core. I think Rashee Rice might be the dude.
Yeah, she Rice definitely was the guy for me because I was sitting in like 99th place. I was looking good, baby. I was looking not good,
Not
but looking all
99.
right. And I was looking all right. I was looking all right. And then I think that last score, Cortland Sutton. I had one joint go up, one joint go down, and I ended up in like 200, 220, 220th place, not $220. Big difference. It was more like $10 off of four. But I hit on three or four. Three out of four I hit on. So positive, positive night. I can't complain. But aside from all that, Pacheco, yeah, seeing him get the rock at the receiver spot and in the backfield, I like that. I like that. Um, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Rice keeps developing and becomes what they need him to be, or at least gains the full trust of Mahomes, and it can be Rice and Kelsey as opposed to Kelsey and more Kelsey.
Yeah, the Broncos, man, the Broncos. Like, what's your from what you've seen so far this year with this situation with Sean Payton, and it seems like I don't know if I ever realized that this dude was like that grouchy of a dude, man. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if I've ever realized it. I've seen him snap like when he was on New Orleans sideline, but we 5 games in, and even before the season started, talking smack to other, talking about other coaches and former coaches. It's just different. And what's crazy is we criticized Russ a lot last year, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. If you just kind of take this game we saw the other night out of the equation, honestly, the first 4 games that they played, it really wasn't all on Russ. Like we saw at the end of last, and that defense has been horrible. And we didn't expect to see that because last year the defense was solid. Russ was a problem.
right.
Through the first 4 games before we got to this, Russ had actually not played very bad, but that defense it's like it's got one person on defense, just one. You know what I'm saying? He went number 2 and he on the corner. That's like
Well,
all they got.
their defense didn't play. I mean, they allowed the ball to be moved up and down the field last week. Well, Thursday, but they kept Kansas City out of the end zone somehow, for the most part. Other than what they had one touchdown and what 4 field goals. Yeah,
Mhm.
4 field goals. So they held them under 20. They had a good showing, and being that they gave up 70 a few weeks ago, 20 ain't bad. You will live with 20 in comparison. But yeah, I get you on Russ, I don't know. I don't know if I can buy into the Russ. It hasn't been on Russ. I think it is. It's got to be partially on Russ. Um, the wild part is maybe seeing Russ with two different coaches and he's bad with both. Like, does that lean more towards them, or does it lean more towards him? Well, three. Let's say three coaches, including Pete Carroll. You got good Russ, great Russ, and then you got bad. And if you want to say, Russ, you got that. But we haven't seen good Russ in a minute. Or is it more the fact that the receivers can't create space and give them somewhere to throw? And the offensive line.
I saw the questions come across some of the platforms this week. We're talking about, was it time to start exploring breaking his team up a little bit, starting with Jerry Jeudy, which we heard his name a couple of times before the season started. They feel like they could get something from Jerry Jeudy, but he hasn't played well at all. So unless another team feels like they can get something out of him, something that the Broncos are not getting from him right now. I'm starting to hear that. Have some other players. Then you see the Russ stuff circulating. But for them to move on from Russ, especially after this season, man, they would have to get magical, because the cap hit would be crazy depending on how the deal is structured. And then again, the other team that would get him would still have to eat quite a bit of money. If you think about it, what did they give up for Russ? Was it 3 first-rounders, 3 second-rounders, a 5th? And then they gave him a ton of change. So, they already gave up the house. And then they would have to do a master restructure when they're allowed to make some things happen. I just don't know.
Terrible.
I just don't know.
So burning down the house.
Cliff, what's up, man? Mr. Cliff Jones in the house.
Cliff, what up, bro?
Let's see. Let's go this one first. He says, all about the defense for the Chiefs this year. They're scoring up. And I agree. And we've talked about it over the years, that the years that they made their Super Bowl run, you can never really say they had a dominant defense. They had some players. They had players. They had, Chris Jones and Frank Clark, Legere Sneed, Honey Badger a while back. But they were, if you look at the numbers when they would get to the bowl, they were never dominant. Or a lot of times we're talking about they might have been in the mid to, the 16 to 23 range. You know what I'm saying? Right. But this year, that young defense that people capitalized on last year is actually really playing real well. So that is a great point right there. And of course, that's a division foe for Cliff. So he know. He know about them.
I should have known it was him when it said chefs. I just thought it was a typo. So I thought somebody had a typo.
Yeah. So my man, let's see what my brother Zach says. Zach says Russell Wilson offense is not geared towards his skill set. Look at Geno versus his tenure with the Jets. Never thought about that. But it comes a time that you have to gear your offense towards the capabilities of your quarterback. Maybe he's not meant to run either the systems he was in the past 2 years. I don't know if anybody's been geared to run Hackett's system. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting.
The disrespect of calling him an RW3. I feel like that's disrespectful. Make me think of RG3, and that ain't right.
No, I mean, don't put Russ in the RG3 class, man. So it's how
that's rough.
I ain't gonna get no RG3 rant right now, but yeah, no.
That's rough.
I mean, man ain't done nothing. I ain't gonna forget people trying to tell me that there was a time period that he was a top 3 quarterback in the league. So I just had to leave that alone. So I that's that Russ talk.
What they have in their bowl cereal?
They're just sitting down. Let's get to some of today's games. We got a handful of today's games that we are going to pick to keep week 6 moving along. And the first one would be the Washington Commanders taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And Washington need this game, man. They have been so up and down this year. Had some almost against a good team. Had some beatdowns by so-so teams, and they had their heart snatched away from them. Commanders coming in at 2-3. The Falcons are 3-2 today. And I'm sure that 40-20 loss is still stinging in their mind from what Justin Fields and them did to them, the other week, man. But how you feel about this game?
This could be an interesting ball game overall, Prime. Washington, like you said, 2-3, but you never know what Washington you're going to get. I guess you never know which version of Sam Howell you're going to get. He was actually 37-51 for 388. Most of that was in comeback time against Chicago. Excuse me. But those numbers ain't bad. I mean, like I said, most of it was in comeback time, but 37-51, 388, 2 touchdowns. Not terrible. Sitting at 2-3. And on the other side, actually, Desmond Ritter didn't play that bad last week. Actually, he played pretty well last week, especially if you're comparing him to literally every other game this season, numbers wise, and just watching the game, he played well. I definitely had Houston giving him the business last week, but no, Atlanta held it down. And like you said at the beginning of the season, you expected Atlanta to be better, so that has come to fruition thus far. I'm definitely leaning towards Atlanta. They're at the crib. And in Washington, you can't trust them. So I'm going to lean towards Atlanta in this one. In a close game, I'll go 26-23 ATL over the football team.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this could be a close game, man. And I think about this is that Atlanta in most of the games that you actually played pretty well defensively, especially against the pass. And the one thing that keeps ringing in my head, man, is how good or maybe how bad. Like, do we really know what Howell is? Because I don't even know if he's really had a chance to showcase it because he's always on his back. No, for real, man. He's been sacked 29. He done went down 29 times. Like already. I think that probably leads the league. Like, they are actually getting after him, so the young man can't really get back there and get his feet set. And Atlanta is actually not bad at rushing the quarterback, but they're definitely not bad in coverage. And I think this becomes a game where both teams maybe try to lean on the Robinsons. Brian Robinson, Bijan Robinson. I'm taking Bijan Robinson every time. And now, but not that I think Brian Robinson is a bad running back, because I like the way the kid run the football. And yes, I said I like something about the Washington Commanders. I did it. It happens every now and then. But that secondary is pretty daggone good in Atlanta, and I think that's where the problems are actually going to lie in this one. And Atlanta's been able to shake off Ritter's play, which has not been great in a lot of instances, but they've been able to keep it going. You sprinkle in the fact that the game is in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so they playing at home. So will they rise up today? I think so, and that's why I'm gonna take them over the Commanders, 26-20.
26-20, okay.
Yep. That's what I got. Hey, before we get totally off of Washington, I wanted to put this up there. I see this at first. AJ, there's a comment from AJ when he was talking about RG3, RW3. You better be in your A game with your spelling with Mike.
I'm just saying. I should have known it was Cliff, because it says chefs. He always calls them the chefs.
The chefs.
Because he don't respect them.
The chefs and the donkeys, right?
The donkeys, yeah.
Next game up on the schedule, man, is actually a pretty good one, at least on paper, man. We got Seattle 3-1, traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, who are 2-3. We saw Joe Burrow, on the get back last week, looking pretty good. Him and Jamar Chase hooking up lovely last week. To a tune of 3 TDs for Jamar Chase and a franchise high 15 receptions. Seattle is no slouch, though. Seattle's no slouch. And the first thing that jumps out to me with Seattle is that, remember last year I was criticizing them defensively?
Mm-hmm.
They've been okay defensively this year, so Pete Carroll's definitely seemed to have righted that ship a little bit, man. But what's your thoughts on today's matchup?
Well, you would you would think that you would think that not you would think that that is not even what I was going to say. We don't know what Cincinnati is going to do. I don't trust Cincinnati based on that one game because you'd like to say, well, Burrow and Chase linked up, like you said, 15 times, 15
Yep,
times,
good
three
team.
touchdowns. So they back on track. But no, I don't know. I don't know that to be true. Um, let's hope so. But that's a lot of targets. So are we in Cooper Cup? You know, are we in Cooper Cup territory with the targets? And your man's Justin Jefferson. Are we getting to those type numbers? And is it going to stay like that on a regular basis, or is it going to be back to the regular? Not that Chase didn't get a lot of attempts previously, but this season, yeah, attempts are down or targets are down, I should say, and obviously his numbers are down as well, which is part of the frustration on his end.
Yeah. We're going to have to see this maybe two games in a row. And it's not an easy defense to do it against. Seattle right now, I believe, ranks fourth in the league in pass rush win rate. So they definitely coming. They gonna test that calf or whatever is going on with Joe Burrow today. I did see a positive. They said that T. Higgins is supposed to be returning for Cincinnati today, so they can use all
Hmm.
that firepower. The thing
Right.
is, they need to be able to keep Joe upright long enough for him to do some damage. One thing to monitor, Joe, I know they said that DJ Metcalf had a light practice. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So, but as long as they got that kid Kenny Walker, who's since last year, he's probably one of I don't know, my favorite four or five running backs to watch every Sunday. That kid runs hard, and
I
that's
know
what's
why.
gonna
I know why
cause
you
me.
like him. I know
Why
why
I
you
like
like him
why I like him.
because you be calling him Skywalker, and you be like, oh yeah, the Knicks. Oh, the Knicks.
Yeah,
Kenny Skywalker. Come on, baby.
that's different. But I like the way he runs, man. He runs hard. I like the way that Carroll uses him. But like I said, I just can't get past the fact that when Burrow's under pressure, it ain't always pretty, and that's what Seattle's gonna do today. They're gonna blitz a lot, and they love coming off that edge, man. And they're gonna try to
Right.
limit the time he's got the ball in his hand, so he can't sit back there for Jamal so much. And I mean that's why I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks 30-27.
Ooh, 30-27. Okay, Prime. 30-27. Seattle. I'm gonna give you that. I'll see your Seattle, and no, I won't. I'm going Cincinnati myself. I don't
Gino.
trust them. I don't trust them. I'm gonna go ahead and just give them the benefit of the doubt. Back at the crib, and Seattle traveling back to the East Coast. So, well, not to the East Coast, but close enough to the East Coast to call it that. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Cincinnati 24. I was about to say 24-19. 24-19 Seattle. I'm sorry,
24-19.
Cincinnati. 24-19 Cincinnati.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Colts and Jags could be a fun one to watch. You and I predicted uh, what some think would be unthinkable, at least by the records in their last few games, that the Colts would beat Tennessee because Tennessee had straight owned them for like what 7 out of the previous 8, something or 6 out of the previous 7. But the Colts rose to the occasion. Now today is going to be a little different because there is no Richardson at quarterback, in which we're finding out this morning from Adam Schefter. It might not just be for some weeks; it might be for the season.
Yeah.
So Gardner Minshew returns to where it all returns home, where it all started. So do we call this a Gardner Minshew revenge game? I mean, is there any revenge to be gotten? Nevertheless, he will be under center, and he'll be taking on one Trevor Lawrence and crew. What you think?
Don't call it a comeback. Gardner Minshew been here for years. Well, he was there for years anyway. And then, yeah, they got rid of him. But he came to Philly. Shout out to Gardner Minshew. Appreciate you. And now he is getting another chance to take the helm as a starter. Hate to see Anthony Richardson go down. Don't want to see him hurt. I did say that they were going to stink with him as quarterback, though. That's what I said. And they actually played better. They played better overall than I thought they would. But in 2 of those games, Richardson ended up, going out. So we got Minshew at this point. Gets a little funky for him. But you gotta trust your veteran quarterback at least a little bit. And he's going back to the former crib. So it's going one of two ways, Prime. Either he's coming back and returning home to be hailed the victor, or they straight gonna blast these people. I'm going with the latter. They're gonna blast these people. I got Jacksonville, even though Jacksonville probably needs to go back to London because they're very comfortable there. I don't know if they really want to move out that joint. Like they act like they want to move out that joint as opposed to playing in Jacksonville. But that's another story for another day. I'm going Jacksonville heavy, 30-13. Jacksonville over the Colts.
I like that. That's just dope, especially when we talking about the running backs in this game, man. And Travis Etienne has really been coming on. Like they went and got Tank Bigsby, and I was one of those people that thought, yeah, they're gonna take some heat off of Etienne, so he ain't got to tote the rock as much. Man, they giving Bigsby like 3-4 carries a game, and let Etienne just do his thing, and he's not disappointed. But I was tripping off of last week, though. I don't know if you caught the post in the group. The coach get Jonathan Taylor back, thinking it's just gonna be Jonathan Taylor heavy,
Yeah.
And it was the Zach Moss show. Like he came out there with a tune of $165 on the ground and 2 TDs. He was almost on all I could see was that Chappelle meme in there, like your contract, feet all on the couch. Like you're not getting rid of me this easy.
Nah. And he said this. It's my job. This is my job. I ain't playing with y'all. I understand. I'm not
Jonathan Taylor didn't have 6 carries last week. And it'd be different. Okay, I understand if you just bring them back slowly. But when the young man that's supposed to be playing behind you just goes ham in the game, that's different. We were talking about Zach Moss. He filled in admirably. He came in, he had, such and such carries for 85 yards or 95. Okay, this man had $165 and 2 TDs. So Jackson, I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here. Right. So, but the Colts also seem to have a problem in that secondary though that they haven't fixed just yet. So that's why I'm thinking my mans will come out there and sling it a little bit to Ridley and the boys. So I am going to take the Jags in this game. But not by the blowout that you had, because I still think the coach is going to try to run the ball a little bit to limit the possessions. I got it a 1-point game, 23-22 Jacksonville.
23-22.
Yes, indeed. What we got? Next up, I was tripping off of Don because Don made the comment last week. Bro, please don't bring up Kirk Cousins' name no more in the group. Sorry, Don. But you know what's going to happen. We're going to talk Kirk Cousins today. We got to talk Kirk Cousins today. And somebody called the Loser Bowl, but it's a lot of implications and a lot of interesting stuff in this matchup where the Vikings have traveled to Chicago to take on the Bears. 2 teams with 1 victory. And we're going to find out today, Kirk Cousins, what life is going to be like without Justin Jefferson, who is out somewhere probably from 4 to 8. And he says more likely on the 6 to 8 range, but makes you think, darn, is he even coming back? Depends on what happens to him. So we're going to see what Kirk going to do today with Addison, with Addison and crew back there. What do you think about this game, man?
Man, I was already leaning one way, and the Justin Jefferson news just made it that much stronger an opinion, because even though Jordan Addison has been, doing his thing, and he had 6 catches last week for 64 yards. Cuzzo ain't right. Cuzzo ain't right. Jordan Addison had 6 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown last week. Even though he had a solid performance, having a solid performance and being the man is two completely different things. Now, I know KJ Osborne is like, yo, feed me Seymour. Let me touch that rock too. And he had nine targets as well. They both had 9 targets, which is kind of surprising. Um, but anyway, yeah, like the Kirk Cousins slander will always be there. It's never going to go away. We're used to it, bro. We're just not going to allow it. We're not going to allow it to slide by easily and just be overlooked. Now, I will say that the Chicago Bears offense has been pretty lively for a couple weeks. Pretty lively for a couple weeks. So I feel like maybe they found it. Like whatever they was trying to find, it's still Chicago, so you're still looking at it sideways. But I feel like they might have found what they were looking for a little bit and got this thing on the right path. Although they do have some running back issues at this point. They got some running back issues because of injury. But I'm rocking with Justin Fields though. I'm rocking with Justin Fields.
Rocking with Justin Fields today.
I said it, Prime. I done said it, Prime. I'm rocking with Justin Fields. Don't let me down.
Man, it's a tough one to pick. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you because everything in me say, well, JJ gone. You know darn well Kirk going to give it. I mean, Kirk came in leading the league in touchdown passes. And JJ, as far as him getting in the end zone, ain't really been a whole lot of that. He's been going to other sources. Now we're gonna see what KJ Osborne is about. We definitely gonna see what Addison's about. You know, I've been big up in Addison for a minute, and I believe it's coming. But man, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough for either team. You talking about Chicago finding something? He's on that Barry White. I found what the world is looking for. It ain't how it feels though. He's talking about. He's talking about DJ Moore. That's what we're talking about in this joint. DJ Moore going straight crazy. And we're going to see more of that today because Minnesota's defense is horrible.
Y'all heard
but my thing is, when you make moves to go out and get players like TJ Hawkinson, right, this is where it has to pay off. Hawkinson is undoubtedly one of the most talented tight end. Matter of fact, he's a top 5 tight end in the league. Hawkinson gets busy. I fully expect Kirk to lean on him. And that's why I'm going to give them the 28-26 victory today in this ball game.
Prime said 28-26. You said Minnesota, right? So I just wrote down 32-26, but Chicago. So Chicago gets the dub on my side. Prime's got Minnesota 28-26. I like that though, Prime. I like that score, 28-26. I can see that. I can see it happen.
This comment right here, I had to throw up, so I'm gonna clarify something. So, and I understand, and you remember I brought this up 3 weeks ago, maybe if we even got to this point.
The Jets,
the whole Jets situation. Yeah. This is probably why it's not going to happen. That's for Dimitri Strong. What's good? Kirk has a no trade clause in that contract, right? And unless they can convince him to go with a contender, they can find a contender that desperately needs a quarterback, he's probably not going to waive it. And then we were hearing this past week the same thing, that people on the inside truly believe that it's already been discussed and that he's not going to waive it, right? And the thing is, it's not about Kirk because Kirk is a horrible quarterback. Or he's not the horrible quarterback that you guys make him out to be. Right, is for the fact that Minnesota's probably starting to look at, we may need to try to figure some things out. They haven't given an extension yet. And anybody thinks that Kirk Cousins is bad enough that the very second that he's available, that there's not going to be at least 3 to 4 teams very interested. You probably don't watch my man's game a lot. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no superstar, but he's not the guy too. He's one of those guys that a lot of fans go out and automatically, Kirk can have an outstanding game, but he throws the one pick. Yeah, there go to Kirk, I know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last week, they blaming Kirk for the loss last week And then especially on that last play when the man trying to throw a Hail Mary, what y'all want the man to do? The man got gobbled up on the play. He should have stepped up. Man have stepped up and got yoked quicker. Like, what did y'all want? Just throw the ball in the air. The man was doing what almost all quarterbacks do on the Hail Mary. You try to get to the position where you can, move around and step into the throw and launch it. All I'm saying is that's the Kirk I know. That's horrible. Kirk should have done this. That been to somebody else, y'all. That been Trevor Lawrence. Somebody y'all would have said that. Y'all get off Kirk back, man.
Get off Kirk back, man.
But I was looking at some. My son put in. He says that. I said, man. He said Chicago crushing Captain Kirk today, and that could happen. What else we got? We got
CJ.
Yeah. Oh no, that won't CJ. That was Big Mike.
Oh wow.
That's Big
My
Mike.
bad.
Yeah. I don't know. CJ might be now. I guess he might be still in the bed, but now he might be checking his fantasy.
All I see is a blank screen. I don't see a name or anything. I just see Facebook users.
Who we got here? Yeah, I don't think he's bad necessarily, but I think he's hit his ceiling in Minnesota. I agree. I agree with that. Of course, I know y'all gonna be waiting for me today in Chicago, make him turn the ball over 3 times. But I'm just saying, folks, we got to get off of this narrative that everything that Kirk does is just horrible. Now, Don muted his line till we finished talking about Kirk. Good. But I guarantee you next week, he ain't going to mute us next week. Well, you may not be, but he ain't going to mute nothing because they play the 49ers. So he going to love it. He going to have all the way down.
He going to have a whole Kirk Cousins line of memes set up.
Ooh. Yeah, AJ, I just saw that Mortis took a crazy hit in Tennessee. And they went to a commercial. We'll see what happens on that. But yeah, so it ought to be a fun game to watch. This ought to be a very fun game to watch. I will say this before we slide off of this game, though. We were talking about if Kirk, let's just say he was to waive the no trade clause at this point. I think he would be the team for him to go would have been Atlanta. I think him in Atlanta would work out real well. And I know y'all say, Chris, and you're talking about a contender. Atlanta's still right in the thick of things to be right now inside that division. They right there. So if we're talking about a team that has a chance to contend for a playoff spot, I mean, why not? Just don't want it out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of places he could go.
So what we got next up? Next up, we got the Saints and the Texans. The Saints and the Texans going at it today. Saints coming in at 3-2, Texans at 2-3. I thought they would be 3-2 because I thought surely they would win last week. But C.J. Stroud and that offense was actually quieted down for a week. And we know they can drop 30 plus on you at any given time, but that wasn't the case last week. And they're not in a favorable position today playing the Saints because the Saints, not a bad pass secondary whatsoever. But the Texans do have the luxury at least playing at home to quiet some of that noise. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, that New Orleans defense is going to pose a problem. They give problems to quarterbacks, specifically young quarterbacks. And I'd love for that home crowd to make a difference, but they can't stop that defensive line. So unless the fans get out there and block and they triple team everybody, I still see a little pressure on CJ today, and we'll have to see what he can do with that after taking that loss last week.
I think this is a game I went back and forth with all week, bro. All week, because I can just see I got 10 reasons for why the Saints going to win this game. I got 10 reasons for why the Texans are going to win it. I think the one thing that comes down to me that we have to watch is, C.J. Stroud still hasn't thrown an interception this season. And this could be the day that it happens because the Saints have picked off at least one pass in four out of the first 5 games. So they're very opportunistic, man. So that's something you got to watch. So this is probably the day. This could be the day we see C.J. Stroud throw that first interception.
This is the day. This is the day that CJ throws a pick. Wait, I could have rhymed that. Hold on. This is the day This is the day for a pick from CJ. For a pick from CJ. That's it right there. Write that down. Yeah. Matter of fact, Prime, I give you two. I give you two of them.
Two
Two of
picks.
them. There you go.
2 picks. Hey, Don, I appreciate it, man. You know how we do. Been a minute since we've been 6-0. Don, just commenting on my hat, sir. Yeah.
FSU gang.
FSU gang, 6-0. Keep an eye on Alvin Kamara today, though, man. Kamara needs 2 TDs to tie Mark Ingram for the franchise all-time leading rushing touchdowns. And last week, he became the overall touchdown leader in Saints history. So you're going to get a heavy dose of him today for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, so I very rarely I pick against the Saints, especially when they're playing at home, but they're not today. Like I said, they are in Texas. So I'm going to give CJ and them another whirl.
Okay.
And got them going out with a 19-16 victory.
Oh, I like that score too. You keeping it under 20 on both sides. Yeah, I think it's going to be under 20 on one side, but we're not going to reach 40 as a total. So I'm going to go 22-13. 22-13. The Saints defense shows up. 2 picks, maybe even a defensive score mixed in there. And the Saints pull off the win on the road.
Yeah, so Nico Collins, need you to wake up. Need you to wake up this week, boy. Ought to be a fun game. This one's going to be fun, too, for a whole lot of reasons right here. This one. The Detroit Lions will be taking on Tampa Bay in the state of Florida. One team is 4-1. The Bucs come in at 3-1. And I know you one of the people that's on the list that definitely didn't have the Bucs with only 1 loss at this stage. But we are here for the colossal matchup of Goff versus Baker Mayfield. Does it get any bigger than that?
I don't know if it does, Prime. I don't know. Baker Mayfield's playing. Everybody's going to watch, right? Everybody's watching Baker Mayfield with his 7 touchdowns and 2 picks this far into the season. This is game number 5 for Tampa Bay. It feels like I haven't seen Tampa Bay in a minute. When is the last time they played? Oh, they had a bye last week. I'm like, dog, it seemed like it's been a minute since I've lambasted Baker Mayfield, but that's why. And they did catch that 1 L the 1 week I picked them to win. Who was that against? Oh, I know. AJ, you still here? He said he saw what I did there when I made that pick. I remember that, AJ. I know what you're talking about, too. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, we both are high on Detroit, even though Gibbs is out today. We got no Gibbs again.
They ain't giving him the ball anyway, so it don't
it's like again. So, we got more Montgomery, more problems. That's what it seems like for a lot of teams thus far. What do you feel about that Tampa Bay defense? Man, they're probably up middle of the road to closer to the top, which that might be a little surprising overall, but part of that is because the offense hasn't been completely terrible. So positives on the Tampa Bay side, and they're at the crib. So I wouldn't be surprised if Prime said, give me Tampa Bay this week. What you got, Prime?
I'm picking the Lions. I'm rolling with Dan Campbell, but I know that's the type of thing I like to flip, right? Because I can see it. And I kind of want to go with them. And one of the main reasons, they wearing them creamsicle joints today. They busted out the James Wilder, Leroy Selman joints.
Leroy Selman.
Yeah, they breaking out the old Doug Wynn. It's like they breaking out the creamsicle jerseys to get today against the Lions. And I want to pick them so bad. And I got you talking about the defense, but I want to give props to the Tampa Bay offensive line to this point. You understand that Baker's only been sacked 4 times?
God bless him.
Yeah, and I know Aiden Hutchinson probably didn't check that stat already. Like, okay. All righty then. All right. Well, all right then. Let's do this. So I kind of want to pick Tampa Bay today, but I don't know, man. I see my man Amon Ra playing on the other side. You mentioned Montgomery, who's been an absolute problem, which is going to be fun to watch because Tampa Bay has actually been pretty good against the run this season. So we're going to see what gives. But I'm sticking with the Lions offense, man. They show some even without St. Brown. They got Reynolds can catch passes. They got Williamson, but they just something about them, man. The Porter. If we're trying to figure out how in the world you replace old boy and send him to Minnesota, and Laporta comes in at tight end and just dancing in the end zone, moving the stick. So I got the Lions winning today 30-20.
30-20 for Prime. I have 31-24 for Detroit as well. Quick test, quick quiz. Uh-oh. I know that Prime knows the answers. Somebody put it in the comments, though. I don't know how many people are even watching. But Prime, you give the people 10 seconds. Even though Tampa Bay is rocking the creamsicle joints and neither Prime nor I picked them, who do we know that definitely would pick Tampa Bay because of their uniforms? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Y'all got 10 seconds.
Somebody in the group, y'all.
Y'all let me down. Talk to him, Prime.
You talking about Keys?
No, Prime. Don't let me down.
Who is it then?
It's Dwayne, bro. It's Dwayne.
What's happening?
Yeah.
I thought you was talking about it in the group. That sounds like something Keys would do. That's what I'm saying. That you ain't make it clear. I thought we was talking about it.
That's on me. That's on me.
That's a Keys thing. But no. Of course, Dwayne, what's happening? That might be over some of y'all folks here. We realize that some of y'all ain't above the age of 30, 35 in here, but I'm just saying. What's happening? One of the most underrated, I said the most underrated sitcoms. I ain't gonna say black sitcoms, period.
Yeah. So
respected. One of my all-time favorites. And Dwayne was my favorite character. So but we both set on the lines. What was your score?
31-24.
31-24. All right.
Yo.
I know Arvin though. Big Shirley and the whole nine. And we ain't talking about Big Shirley from Martin. We talking about Shirley.
No, not that Big Shirley. The original Big Shirley.
Worked at Rob's. One game left on the schedule, well, for us anyway, that we are going to pick today, and that will be tomorrow's Monday night football game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chargers. Cowboys coming off of that embarrassment last week, totally getting destroyed by the San Francisco 49ers. And the Chargers is coming back off a bye. So what you think?
So same thing, basically. Same thing.
See,
yo, I didn't even mean it like that. But now that I think about it, that was even better. It's a bye because neither of them played last week. Dang, I could have had a joke right there and I let it go. Damn, I missed it. Anyway, Cuzzo, what up? Yeah. Where is Caesar when we need him? And that's rare because we rarely need him.
He was on the beginning of the show. He probably,
He at church now. He praying for a victory on Monday. That's what he's doing.
Well, that ain't dedication. He's supposed to have at least one AirPod in when he in there.
Amen.
If Steve Moser can go and set his FanDuel lineups in church, Caesar can put at least one AirPod in. He say he's talented. He can pass the one ear, he has in the other. So that's on him.
That's on you, Caesar. Tighten up. I'm glad to see this as the Monday night game, man. Even though the Chargers have probably overall disappointed me and you in the last few seasons.
Yeah.
Overall. But they're still fun to watch. I like watching the Chargers, and it's rare that we get to see them in prime time, unless it's against Kansas City, pretty much. Other than that, we rarely get to see them in prime time. So to see them on a Monday night, I like that. LA halfway care about football, and most of the people ain't from LA, so who knows what kind of fan he getting baptized. Yeah, he might be getting baptized. Say you need a little cleansing before this game on Monday night. But Justin Herbert, that's that guy. That's that. I can't even say it. That's that guy. And I'm hoping for the best and expecting the worst. Because if there's any time that Dallas would show up and show out, it would be on Monday Night Football on the road. People be looking at them crazy, getting dragged last week. And I think the dragging is being overstated. Yes, they got dragged. Yes, it was bad. Yes, there's nothing positive to really take from it. But people act like Dallas stinks now. Dallas doesn't stink. They played San Francisco. They didn't get dragged by the Giants. It was San Francisco. San Francisco the best team in the league. What do you mean? What you want? What you want? It's just the fact that it's Dallas. So we're all like, well, Dallas, they might show up and play well against Sanford. No, San Francisco's better. They are better. They are better. Like they're clearly better in all facets. To me. To me. Prime might argue the all facets part, but they are better in all facets, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So let it be. Let it be what it was. It's fun though. It's fun. It's fun to see the people slander Dallas and then the Dallas fans. Actually, it was weird. It was more weird than fun because you had Cowboy fans recoiling. They was like, "Oh no, Dak Prescott is not what I thought he was all these years. We hate him now. Today we hate him. We no longer like him. He is no longer our guy." It's all right, y'all. It's all right. That's all I got. It's all right. I'll let Prime talk to the people because this is your game for real.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm super positive when I say that. Yeah, we like to bounce back after a loss, especially after a butt whipping. And we usually shine. We like to shine at night. Sunday night, Monday night, it doesn't matter. This one feels kind of funny to me. And
Mm.
and the reason I say that, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the fact that they lost last week. It just has the fact to do with what we've seen the entire season. And I'll repeat for the 50th time. The offense ain't there. So no matter how good a team San Francisco is, in which it didn't take till last week for me to understand that they were the best team in the National Football League. But the Cowboys, if you're gonna lose that game, okay, they hang 42. I mean, because you at least got 24. I mean, I could have lived with that. You know what I'm saying? But getting 10 points and struggling in previous weeks offensively. So before y'all go back and start looking at the scores and tell me how many points they put up as a team, and without actually looking at how many times they actually score from the red zone, or not looking to see how many of those points were actually offensive touchdowns, and not field goals, special teams, or defensive touchdowns. All right. So this one has me a little worried because the offense it's stale. It's a stale offense. You're going, and then you're coming in going against, the former coordinator, who folks have to admit, a better overall play caller than Mike McCarthy has been so far.
Mm.
Even with his sketchy 3rd and 1 decisions where he wants to pass the ball, when Moore wanted to pass the ball on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. Overall, they went from the number 1 offense. They stayed in the top 3 for years. Now in the bottom 3 every week offensively. This has to be scared because even if we return back to a team that we have a good defensive game, there's always the possibility that they still get 1 or 2 plays, which could be the deciding factor in the game. And because the offense is not generating the points. The running game has not been there the way, Pollard breaks a 15-yarder. I told you we back now. Passing game is horrible. They can't find a way to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb, who is about to get paid, and he looked like he's frustrated. I'm just waiting to see if he one of them dudes going to throw somebody under the bus. I wouldn't even be mad if he does. Michael Gallup, what we go get Cooks for? Last week was the first time you decided to send him running down the field. And Dak is Dak. Okay, Not gonna hamper that. Y'all get it. So I'm scared about this game, bro. I'm scared about this game. I'm not convinced that the Dallas Cowboys gonna win the football game tomorrow night. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I'm picking against the Dallas Cowboys again this week.
What?
Until they show me different. Until they show me different. And that offense shows me different. I got questions. And for all the people that are sitting there talking about we're going to see the Niners again in the playoffs. First of all, I don't even want to see the Niners again. I'm tapped out. I admit it. Bro, somebody else handled that for me. But I ain't even so sure we get into the playoffs. And you guys understand that we dealing with the Chargers. We play the Rams next week. You said, come on, Prime. Rams ain't no slouch, bro. Especially with the way we've been playing. And then we play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. That's a rough 3-game stretch. So I don't know. But neither here nor there. I'm picking the San Diego Chargers to beat Dallas Cowboys tomorrow by a score of 28-20.
Is Dan Phelps playing?
Los Angeles Chargers, whoever. San Diego, Los Angeles. I don't care. Move them to Vegas. And the offense show me different. We lose them.
Charlie Joyner and John Jefferson was coming over there doing something. Gary James, somebody.
Chuck Muncie. Oh,
Chuck Muncie. Goodness gracious. Throwback. Wow, Wes Chandler. All right, yeah. You said 28-20? Mm-hmm. I have 29-24 Chargers myself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Prime. Here's the good thing is the Chargers' pass defense is not good. The bad thing is
the dude passing the football like this.
It's not good. Yeah.
The dude we throwing the ball against the Chargers defense is not that good. So,
so sounds like a problem. But yes, shockingly, for the first time in a minute, no, maybe not the first time. I'll take that back. But you and I, we have 4 picks the same, but we have 3 clear differences. I have Cincinnati, New Orleans, and Chicago. You have Seattle, Houston, and Minnesota.
And I just want to ask for any of the Cowboy faithful or people with their kind hearts, if you have any linebackers you want to donate, please send them. Contact Jerry Jones at 7,000 Cowboys Way, and holler at him because we ain't got them either. No, we turn in safeties and the linebackers. I mean, I don't know how that's supposed to work, but yeah, we would greatly appreciate it. Found it in your heart.
Prayer meeting, Lord Jesus. Wow.
So that's it for the NFL games we picking today. But before we get out of here, man, we got to do one thing, and we got to do it like last week and check in for the WNBA finals, bro. WNBA finals, and right now the Aces are up 2-0 and taking no prisoners. With Game 3 going down today, in which either the Liberty can keep things going or the Aces can be crowned champions for the 2nd year straight. What have been your thoughts watching this, bro?
My thoughts start and end with what the heck is going on with Sabrina Ionescu. I hate to be that guy. But man, she's having a hard time. And I don't think it's without reason, because Jack ain't giving no slack. Jack ain't giving no slack. Jack Young, she's active and there's no space. There's no room to breathe. But Sabrina Ionescu has not shot the ball well. And if I'm not mistaken, she didn't shoot the ball well last series either overall. Yeah. So it's not pretty. I don't like the group, one of the groups that you and I are in, where people, okay. So WNBA fans are different than most sports fans. To me, I think a lot of it is because WNBA fans, some are sports fans who like basketball and like the WNBA. Some are people who want to support or like to support women, and this just happens to be a sport with women. But when you're in a group, people, regardless if they follow closely or not, they have opinions and they like, well, I can't say it nowhere else. I'm gonna say it right here. So they spout off some of the most ridiculous takes that make no sense. They don't make sense, which is where it gets frustrating. That's why man, I'd be like, don't do it. Don't start typing. I have to fight. I have to fight the urge. But they'd be like, you hate women. I was no, that's not it at all. So, but that's what it will turn into. So I just try to stay quiet most of the time. But anyway, yeah, the Aces are balling. Now let's not act like the Liberty aren't at the crib. So they're at the crib. Hopefully that will make a difference. And I gotta say, my dog Stewie has not lived up to expectation or
She ain't doing them but getting rebounds. That's it.
to her norm either. Jonquel Jones actually played very well last game. She was active and all that good stuff. But if it's Jonquel against Asia and Kelsey and Chelsea and Jack and everybody else, then you know what's going to happen. And the fact that the Aces, even though the Liberty came back last game early, the fact that the Aces jumped on them people and put up about 40 in the first quarter. How you put up 40 in 10 minutes, dog? It's 10-minute quarters. How, dog? Yeah. I didn't like
put
that at
down a
all.
YouTube video. How to put up 40.
Yeah, just let it play. Just let it play. So hopefully we get a better showing from the Liberty today. I can't see the Liberty getting swept, although stranger things have happened, but I can't see the Liberty getting swept. That squad is too good, so I'm hoping for a better performance from the big three for the Liberty and a better game. And hopefully we get to at least 4 games in this series.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. The one thing about this, I think is, I don't know, maybe a stroke of genius, or maybe she felt like she knew something, but Becky Hammond, I think the way she's been able to neutralize the guard play, of course, of the Liberty, part of the reason because of the Aces guards are making them work. You know what I'm saying? So when you get back to the other side of the court, and like, you didn't exhaust some energy, and then they DN them up too. But what I love about this, and then a couple of those groups that you and I was seeing a lot during the early season. Everybody was criticizing Becky for playing her starters so much, or going with a short bench. And the thing most people thought about was, well, it's eventually going to tire them out. It's going to hurt them come playoff time. I mean, they had to find a way after those injuries. They had to find a way to get other folks in there and do certain things. But Becky, I got to take my hat off to her. She stayed the course. I did it then. I'm gonna do it now. And that team doesn't look like a team that looks tired to me. There was a time period we would look, during the season when they were going a little slump or barely winning certain games. I'm like, they tired now. It's catching up to them. They didn't find the refresh button. You know what I'm saying? Because they look good in this series. And when you have 4 players, well, 3 players definitely, and a 4th player always floating around the 20-point mark in the same game. Like you know what I'm saying? 25, 24, 22, and 17. That balanced scoring is crazy. And the Liberty hadn't been able to get that. Stewie is basically rebounding the basketball, and that's not giving it up, on the points end. And we, as of right now, the young lady who finished 3rd in the MVP voting, is looking like the MVP. I mean, she's played. Not because she's A'ja Wilson. She's played. Man, when she started to add that little short jumper to the repertoire and that jump start was falling, I'm like, okay, this is a problem. It's a problem. But they look good. Becky looks like she's on a mission for some of the disrespect, and even more so now that Asia got snubbed and when she felt for that award. And Sandy Brondello's on the side looking like, what you want me to do? Like, what can I do? I just knew my girls were gonna show up. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they continue to feed Johannes and hope they fall, but they got to get some help. I don't know.
That the wild part is all of this is without Candace Parker.
Without Candace Parker.
Mm.
Yep. Without Candace Parker. That is crazy. That is crazy. So she's pretty much in the pep talk veteran coaching role at this point.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And doing a great job at that, so but it is what it is. So but we'll see what happens today. Like I said, you're in New York. I feel like the Liberty going to show up today. But I felt like they would show up last week and got blasted. Last game and got blasted. Not even close. So I don't know, man. I don't even have any words to think, to tell them what they should do. Like I have no idea.
I got my dog Stewie showing up today, 30 plus. And I don't wear jerseys. I'm 30 plus. Stewie for 30 plus. The Liberty get the dub. And we get a game 4 on Wednesday, I believe.
I do want to shout out one person, though, because we never mentioned her. Understandably why. But this series, she's been solid. And that's Stokes, man. Kaya Stokes. Like, because, first of all, I was tripping. I'm like, she shot a 3? She hit a 3? That's one thing. But what cannot be undersold is her defense. Well, she's a good defensive player anyway. But there's been some times when she's had to match up against John Quell, who still played very well. I've seen a couple of instances when she was on Stewie. With those long arms and forcing Stewie to stay a little bit further away from the basket than Stewie may want to, even though, don't get a mistake, we know Stewie can pull it. But Stokes is like the person who's not going to get the props that she deserves, but she has been like really, really solid in this series, and she's got something to do with this too. When you're coming down the court and the Liberty's getting one chance at a shot on a lot of these, you know what I'm saying? Stokes has had a whole lot to do with that. So ought to be fun. And like I told you, I'm neutral in this one. I couldn't pick. I just couldn't do it, but it would be so great if the Liberty could at least show up today and we get some more basketball next week.
Yep. One more game.
And that is it from the SBP side of what we had planned to talk about. You got anything out there for the people?
Oh, yeah. Y'all know what? I told y'all that Rakim shared. He took one of my IG reels and threw him in his IG story last 2 weeks ago. Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Rakim.
So I posted a story. I shared a story. I did a story basically about the time that Shaquille O'Neal dissed Mad Skills in a verse back in 2004, out the blue, dissed Mad Skills. And I saw a recent interview where Skills was talking about it. So I made a video talking about the incident and, just talking about what happened, and then playing a little bit of Skills, one of Skills' songs that dissed Shaq. Lo and behold, well, I put it on TikTok. I made an IG reel out of it. The other day, I'm looking like, okay, somebody shared my reel to their story. Does that say, wait, that don't say Shaq? Let me click on this, Joe. Oh, it really is Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, or is whoever handles his account, but I'm going to go with Shaq. Shaq reposted the IG reel to his story. I was like, yo, he's wild. That joint went from, it was like 4,000 views in the first 2 days. That joint went from 4,000 to 10,000 in an hour when Shaq posted it's at like 144,000 now, something like that. It's crazy. It's wild. I'm like, oh. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen, well, actually somebody posted something from this group called Sportskita, or it's a website, sportskita.com.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My oldest daughter was like, yeah, I see this story. Somebody wrote a story yesterday. Well, it was Thursday. I think it was Thursday. It was Friday. somebody wrote a story yesterday about Shaq and Skills. They had to use your story. They had to see your story and post it. I was like, yeah, I guess, because ain't nobody really talked about it recently except for that interview that he did a couple months ago or whenever it was.
Right.
Them people posted the whole story. And I'm going through that joint, and then it said, click Instagram link. Click the link. It led to me. I was like, hold on, what's happening right now? What's happening? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. People share the story, share the commentary. Because I'll be out here creating content. So, we can still dream. Can still dream of something coming from it. That's all I'm saying.
That's dope right there. Check my man's out. Don, what's good? Appreciate you checking in. We about to roll out, but quickly, man, your question about the game today, the WNBA. We didn't really pick it. I think Source had said that he thinks that the Liberty play strong today because they're at home. Stewie has a better game. She finally gets a 30-point or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said that I hope, not that I'm for either team because I love them both, but I said that I would be nice if Liberty did win today so we can get some more basketball on Wednesday. Even though the men tip off in less than 2 weeks, but for real. And we both did take the Chargers on Monday night, my brother. So
he had to make that clear. He ain't picked Dallas.
Nope, I did not pick my beloved Dallas Cowboys. to further notice, when I be picking them. So that's all I got. We'll be back. Unsure whether or not we will have a show. If I have a show next week or not, we will let you know. There's a possibility that we might be on the bye week, but we might not. So just stay tuned. But it'll probably be around 10:30, 11-ish if we do. Appreciate all of you checking us out. Whether you're here on Facebook in the SBP group, whether you're checking us out from Twitter, my personal page at Prime SBK, or if you're checking us out at the SBP TV on YouTube. We appreciate y'all. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit us up. We might slide you through. We can talk some sports, but we heavy on this football thing right now. So we're going to catch y'all on the next one. We out of here. Peace.